Another lawsuit against these Nazi broadcast organizations, this one now, OAN, One American News, that little piece of propagandic bullshit, right-wing Nazi shit that started filling the airwaves during the Trump era. Executives at that criminal network may have, quote, engaged in criminal activities, end quote, while they were promoting, the television network was, these 2020 election lies and deceptions and bullshit. This is according to a filing by Smartmatic, one of the tabulating companies that have filed a lawsuit against, well, they have a pending lawsuit against Fox, and they have filed a lawsuit against One American News. The president of that Nazi organization, One American News, sent what is described as a potentially explosive email to the crazy bitch who is representing Trump, Sidney Powell. And that email included a spreadsheet claiming to contain passwords of employees who worked at Smartmatic. That's according to court filings. Now, how they got these passwords so they could break into Smartmatic's programs is, I guess, will come out at trial. Anyway, the existence of this spreadsheet was recently disclosed by Smartmatic, which, like I said, is suing OAN for defamation. And CNN pieced together who was involved in the email exchange by examining court records from 3 separate cases that have come from the 2020 attempt to overthrow the election. Lawyers, this is according to CNN, lawyers from Smartmatic told a federal judge that this particular email and the attached spreadsheet suggests that One American News executives, quote, may have engaged in criminal activities because they appear to have violated state and federal laws regarding data privacy, end quote. Well, that certainly shouldn't come as a surprise to anybody. These creepy fucking places like One American News or the Fox Sewer or some of these other online shitholes that are there for one purpose and one purpose only, and that is to destroy American democracy. They have no other function, none, absolutely none, and to assist in the establishment of the dictator Donald Trump. Anyway, so far, nobody from One American News, and I have to say this, has been charged with any crimes, but this revelation comes at a time when One American News, Sidney Powell, and others who operate within this fascist orbit were peddling these lies that there was massive voter fraud in 2020 and that the fault of that voter fraud rested with Smartmatic. Smartmatic was a company that was trying to make sure that Joe Biden got elected and denying the American people the person they really wanted, the dictating little prick Donald Trump. Also, according to court filings, these passwords that belong to employees of Smartmatic were shared around the same time that Sidney Powell, the scum that worked with her, and other MAGA supporters were trying to improperly get their grubby little fingers into voting systems across the country in order to prove their false claims of voter fraud. That's what happened down here in Coffee County, Georgia. One of the reasons for 19 indictments put together by Fonnie Willis, the Fulton County prosecutors. This is exactly what they're talking about. So now Smartmatic's public filings in this lawsuit so far haven't identified the sender or recipient of these emails. Court records from a separate 2020 related lawsuit confirm that the head of OAN, a creepy fucker named Herring, that's his name, not what he had for dinner, Herring and Sidney Powell exchanged emails on the same date. That's the January 8th, 2021. That exchange took place between Charles Herring and Sidney Powell. The email so far isn't public, but Smartmatic revealed some of its contents in a public filing, after obtaining the materials in the discovery process. So, Smartmatic, of course, has sued OAN, Sidney Powell, other Trump MAGA Nazis, seeking billions of dollars in damages for the lies that this phony little news organization put out regarding the 2020 election. As these lawsuits work their way through the courts, every time there is a victory for truth and justice, I know, sometimes that seems very weak, the truth and the justice, but every time there is a small victory, I stop what I'm doing and cheer. I can't wait till One American News disappears and goes back to the little fever dream of Donald Trump, where it emerged, from which it emerged a couple of years ago. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. The Progressive Voices Network brings you commercial-free commentary from today's leading progressive radio hosts and pundits, like me, Mike Malloy, 24 hours a day. I'm not your typical old guy from the 80s or the 90s talk radio host, and Progressive Voices is not your typical talk radio network. It's a listener-supported nonprofit with no corporate control whatsoever over our broadcast. So hosts like me, Mike Malloy, are free to rant and scream and carry on about whatever we like. We're often controversial, but we're never boring. Weeknights, 9 p.m. in the East, 6 p.m. in the West on the Progressive Voices Network. Always progressive, always on. I'm Mike Malloy. Keep it lit.